you need to know to make money tomorrow in it. Of course, we have our Clear Your Mind for tomorrow, as well as our game plan in Forex, and of course, our full stock analysis. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mark Melnick, and I will be taking you through the Newsbeat Show here today. And we're going to start off very simply tonight with Square, that reported earnings after hours. Now, we've made some pretty phenomenal straddle calls in the past where we're basically buying calls and puts on each end and making a ton of money on some of these earnings ideas. And I would like to, with most happiness, tell you that we're going to have another one of those chances tomorrow. And of course, today we're going to be watching Square. Now, looking at Square's earnings, they were a little bit mixed. There were some positive and negative things going through there. We all know that Square is going to be accepting Bitcoin to buy, sell, or hold cryptocurrency on its Cash App. So literally it's turning the Square application into what's known as a crypto wallet. And, they beat their Q4 earnings per share, 8 cents versus 7 cents expected. However, their future revenue projections of 3 cents to 5 cents versus the 8 cents expected was a little light. So if you look at Square after hours now, it's down like 96 cents. At the moment, not a lot, not a big move. And I wanted to just simply spell out what you could do tomorrow to make money with Square, what I'm looking to do tomorrow to potentially make money, of course, with Square. So, first of all, here's going to be the rule. The stock has to basically open up between 44.5 and 47.50. So within that $3 range, that's rule number one. So rule number one for whatever strategy I'm giving you right now to work, 44.5 to 47.50, the stock has to open up at tomorrow. And rule number two, I could probably write this out for you on Square. Basically, rule number two is going to be that you're going to be buying calls and puts. You're going to be buying calls and puts. So I'm going to just write it out for you. Must open here. I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it out for you here, and just show you how I'm doing it here. And okay. So and the next thing is you must buy calls and puts 50 cents apart for $2 or less. That is the key to making this work. You have to buy calls or puts 50 cents apart for a total of $2 or less. So for example, let's say Square opens up tomorrow of where it's trading right now. Right now it actually is printing $45. So let's say Square opens up at $45 tomorrow. You could buy the $45 calls, you could buy the 44.5 puts, you could buy the $45 puts, the $45.5 calls. It's irrelevant how you go about it. Just make sure that your calls and puts are going to be 50 cents apart. That is how you can apply my strategy here. And of course, I don't see any reason why you can't make 50 to 300% on a trade like this, 50 to 300% of your money. I believe it's a very measured trade. I mean, it's a very measured risk. You'll know what you're risking as you throw on the trade. Unlike when you buy stock, it's so funny when people buy like a couple thousand shares of Apple and it's like, oh, how much are you risking? They're like, I'm risking $500. And it's like, well, not really. Not really, right? Because a lot of times your stop will blow through, or maybe you're doing a manual stop, and then at that moment it went against you, but you're hoping it goes up higher again, and now all of a sudden you're down $1,000 or $2,000. We all know that, putting in those mental stops and whatever can't really protect you from your worst enemy, and of course that is yourself. So with Square tomorrow, very simple, high conviction, high percentage winning strategy. The trick is to pay as little as possible for this spread. I think some of you guys might get it even cheaper than $2. $2 is a rough number. $2 is the maximum I'll pay. There's a reason why I'm giving you that exact number and not $2.10 or $1.90. The trick is to pay that number or less for any 50-cent spread. Now, when I say any 50-cent spread, like don't be stupid about it. What do I mean by that? Like the stock's at $45, I don't want you trying $30 puts or $30 calls, which of course you wouldn't get for $2 in a million years. Basically, you want to take something that is right next to where the stock is trading right now, and that's how you apply that strategy. Very simple strategy, very effective, extremely high win percentage strategy. So mark this down. The last 3 times I gave you this strategy, it worked every time. This is the 4th time I'm giving it to you on the Newsbeat Show. I don't see any reason why it can't work again. Okay, just moving on to the next thing here. We're going to talk about clearing your mind for tomorrow, and I really want to talk about this market. You know, I'm reading some of the like the posts from my colleagues. I'm reading some of the posts from traders in other rooms. This isn't the market to go crazy and get excited about. I've been very slow on the Newsbeat live broadcast. I actually did not make one trade today. Today was the day that I actually didn't make a trade. And it's just the analysts are all on the sidelines. The news flow is dead. Yeah, I think you'll have traders who are making money, but the same traders who are making money on a day like today are the same traders who are losing money in the past week and a half. That's the bottom line. The consistency in this market has dropped tremendously. However, we did get our first, what feels like forever, even though it hasn't been. I mean, we've had a red day last week. It feels like we had our first real down move today, just from the feeling perspective that we've had in a while in the triple Qs. And I just want to talk about sort of remembering who you are as a trader and knowing what you're good at. And, for me as a trader inside this market, I've been doing this job almost forever, and I've seen it all. I really have. I've seen it all. I've seen the biggest bear markets, the biggest bull markets, which I guess we're experiencing right now. I've seen the tech bubble. I've seen it inflate. I've seen it pop. And really, in a market like this, I think you just have to almost understand that, you have to really know your strengths and weaknesses. And right now, when there's very little news flow, when there's not a lot of analysts coming out and giving big upgrades or downgrades to names, I think you sort of have to just shy away on the sideline. You just have to almost just wait. And I think by waiting, we're going to end up getting a lot of good stuff in this market. I'm going to try mixing it up a little tomorrow. So, for example, in the pre-market, there's one name I gave you guys today to watch in the pre-market, and it was CMG. CMG for a long, you got a $400 target. And this is what CMG did. It exploded. It opened up at 318.86, and literally 10 minutes later it went to 326. So, I mean, it literally popped 8 points, and 15 minutes later it actually went up all the way to $330. So just an enormous move. So what I was thinking to myself is, on a lot of these ideas, I might try some of these names off the open with a very low risk. I'm like, literally, you throw like $400 or $500 worth of options at some of these names, and if it works, great, and if it doesn't, you're not going to get tagged real hard. I'm trying to mix it up a little and just sort of try things that I haven't been doing before, and trying to see if I could pull some form of consistency out of the market doing so. This has been, in my opinion, one of the hardest weeks of trading, for the past, since last week and maybe the week before, I think it's been an extremely difficult period of trading for those people who are sitting there, long. Great job. That, in hindsight, is exactly what you should have done. But especially for those traders trading on the intraday scale, it's been extremely difficult. And, sort of one of the things that I have to remember as a broadcaster and a trader is, I try to sort of rein in the horses and then let them go again. The truth is, we're getting tidbits of news flow and I'm getting better and better stuff every day. It's not where it needs to be yet. But generally, when this happens, we tend to get very big home run type ideas where we, make 5, maybe 6 figures on a trade, basically defining trades for the year, trades that define how your year is going to look like. So I do know that those are still around the corner. I am waiting patiently, and while I wait patiently, I literally wanted to share with you guys that even as a professional trader, even as of somebody who's been doing this 19 years of my life, I literally did not make a single trade today. And it was tempting at some point. I was considering it at some point, and I literally just shied away from it. So don't don't feel bad in this market if you're not seeing the opportunities right now. I think this market needs to come in a little. I would love a few down days in this market just to even things out, just to even create more of a buying opportunity for some of these really strong names just to come in again. And I just wanted to tell you, really keep your heads up high. We're going to get a lot of good stuff. And of course, our game plan in Forex. Very simple. I'm giving you guys a 23-cent name here. BPMX. I think this name could potentially move a little higher tomorrow. It was a nice breakout here on the chart. And you just basically see like tremendous breakout on this little sub 25 cents crapper biotech name, if you will. And just seeing if we could get a little follow through. I've been making pretty decent calls overall on some of these game plan names. So, again, for people with small accounts, I mean, this name did 48 million shares today. You know, definitely something like this can get a move, easily a move of 20, 30, 40, 50%. So we'll see if it gets a little bit of a follow through tomorrow. And of course, for those interested in my Forex trades, you can get them right over here. You get the buy order, the size, the symbol, the price, stop loss, take profit level. You could go ahead and hit print screen now. These are my live Forex orders, which I share with you guys on a daily basis. And of course, when I give you guys these new orders, I cancel the orders that haven't gotten filled, and then I reset them 5 days a week. And just to wrap things up in a very just to wrap things up in a very quick way, we're going to do our full stock analysis. Of course, that is for members of the Newsbeat live room only. We will analyze buy and sell levels for anything you're watching. If you're watching this right now, you could always feel free to email me. It won't be part of the live show, but a lot of times I will break down stocks for you guys. You could just simply email me. You see my email on the bottom, mark.melnick@t3live.com. However, if you want to listen to the analysis of everyone else, you do have to be a member. We're the fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.